I buy your masters. You ready? I will buy your master.
The BMF legacy is spiraling out of control. Once again, after Big Meech was caught on camera breaking down in tears, finally speaking out about what he claims is a $120 million scam masterminded by Rick Ross himself. The emotional footage, which spread like wildfire online, shows the once feared street boss visibly trembling as he exposes how Ross' shady money plays allegedly bled BMF dry and wiped away years of blood, sweat, and loyalty.
Man.
Career that you have any respect for?
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
I built this from nothing, and he took it all, Meech said, his voice cracking as he relived how what was supposed to be a partnership turned into total destruction. According to Meech, Ross twisted contracts, rerouted profits, and flipped loyalty into leverage for his own gain. But heartbreak quickly turned into fury. This ain't done. Every dime, every lie, every move, I'm coming for it, he warned. The video left fans stunned and reignited heated debates over Ross' true role in BMF's collapse. If Meech's words are any clue, this isn't just beef, it's the opening round of a war that could shake the whole industry. Rick Ross just made one of the most reckless power plays we've seen in years, and it came straight at Big Meech's expense.
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead.
Now word is, Meech has finally faced Ross over the betrayal, while 50 Cent wastes zero time roasting both of them online. The drama has taken over social media, with fans calling it the finale of a real-life gangster soap opera. But the question echoing everywhere is, what did Big Meech expect when dealing with a man who once wore a badge and mastered the art of manipulation? Since Ross publicly threw him under the bus, 50's been ruthless, firing subliminals and slick shots at both Meech and his son across every platform. The wildest twist? Just months after walking out of prison, Big Meech was spotted partying it up with Rick Ross, all smiles like nothing ever happened. The sight left fans speechless, especially knowing Ross and 50's feud runs deep. Many thought Meech would have stayed loyal to those who held him down during his bid. Instead, he embraced Ross, a move some insiders say cut 50 deep. And if that wasn't enough, Lil Meech kept throwing shade with real power. Posts while Big Meech linked up with Floyd Mayweather, another Ross associate. The message? Clear as day, this war's just getting started. Meech's name might have generated $50 million in clout, but in the end, it's 50 Cent who turned that name into a real empire.
That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No.
No? You think 50?
No.
Lil Meech.
No.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would.
Meanwhile, Rick Ross has been playing his own strategic game, turning Meech's name into a pawn for a much bigger clout grab. Beyond using Meech's legacy like a chess move, Ross hasn't really delivered anything of true value. He feeds off headlines, thrives on controversy, and loves seeing his name trend, fully aware that the chaos around their situation would explode into viral territory sooner or later. But the second things started heating up, Ross disappeared just as fast as he showed up, slipping away quietly before anyone could press him for answers. His excuse? A so-called shoulder injury. But a lot of people see that as nothing more than a calculated move to dodge backlash. Behind the scenes, the former correctional officer turned rap mogul was busy flipping the story and flipping money, running that controversial boss token crypto hustle. After burning countless investors, the internet dubbed him Rug Ross, a nod to rug pull scams. And funny enough, that same injury popped up just days after he was exposed for lying to Big Meech, a moment that sparked massive backlash online. Word is, Ross quietly offloaded most of those tokens, keeping just enough to funnel the profits into real estate. Critics say if Ross hadn't been blocking Meech's comeback with his self-serving plays and opportunistic money moves, things could have gone very differently.
Bad guy out of all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is.
Instead, Big Meech found himself boxed in by bad deals. blind trust, and decisions that always seemed to benefit Ross more than anyone else. Now, Lil Meech is facing major heat online as fans clown the entire situation, calling out how fast that so-called brotherhood with Ross fell apart. The fallout has become a top topic across hip-hop blogs and podcasts, with everyone from actors to influencers weighing in. Power star Michael Rainey Jr. even jumped in, saying he feels zero sympathy for either Lil Meech or Big Meech, claiming both should have seen the betrayal coming miles away. And 50 Cent wasn't staying silent. He doubled down, tossing more fuel into the fire from his corner of the internet, reminding everyone that in this game, loyalty and vision are everything. The industry already knows Midas 50 doesn't play about personal beef. Even DJ Vlad chimed in, warning that 50 is the last guy you ever want to test, because he'll dismantle everything just to make a point. And let's be real, Big Meech isn't the first person Ross has allegedly left hanging. The rapper's got a long history of dipping when things get ugly. One prime example? That infamous night in Canada when his own team got jumped while Ross slipped away, later claiming he was testing their strength.
Put it all down. If you piss him off. His own sometimes too. He'll cancel BMF to prove a point. Regardless.
It's a cold and calculated way to move. But it's nothing new for Ross. He's been playing this strategic survival game since day one. Every move is measured, every relationship comes with an exit plan in case things stop benefiting him. People inside the industry say Ross saw this fallout with Big Meech long before it hit the surface, especially after Wack 100 called him out as the real mastermind pulling strings behind the tension between 50 Cent and the Flannery family. And if that's true, Ross might have been setting up this entire collapse from the start. What all this chaos exposed was something deeper. Meech never had a genuine ally in Rick Ross. From the jump, Ross knew exactly what he was doing. He hyped Meech with dreams of rebuilding the empire, stacking millions, and reclaiming his legacy, all while publicly flaunting their brotherhood for the cameras. But behind closed doors, it was a different story. Ross was quietly twisting the narrative, planting seeds to turn Meech against 50 Cent and spark an unnecessary rivalry. Then, when it was time to prove loyalty, every promise turned to smoke. Wack 100 wasn't lying when he called Ross out. If Ross truly wanted to help Meech rise again, he'd have kept their business quiet and focused on real wins. Instead, he ran his mouth, fired shots at 50, and stirred up mess, knowing damn well he'd never lock down the BMF rights in the first place.
Feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the fuck I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too, nigga. You asking for my sympathy for it, nigga. You be alright. Oh, and
Now, the silence says it all. Ross has completely backed away from Meech, and all those public pledges to help rebuild vanished overnight. Truth is, Ross only ever moves for what fattens his own pockets, and Meech just isn't part of that equation anymore. Word is, Ross was actually behind the cancellation of Big Meech's Welcome Home benefit event. But he let the blame fall on 50. Insiders claim Ross didn't want Meech regaining too much momentum or influence. He preferred to keep Meech quiet and in the shadows while he played the supportive friend for the cameras. Even when 50 posted that cryptic message and deleted it later, insisting he had nothing to do with it, the real trail pointed straight back to Ross' behind-the-scenes manipulations. People underestimated just how strategic Ross really is, but now the pieces are fitting together. That so-called BMF tribute track? It wasn't loyalty. It was a calculated distraction, a way to keep Meech loyal while Ross used the story to elevate himself. And maybe that's the real twist Ross never wanted to support. Big Meech, he wanted to become him, to wear that legend as his own. And when you study Ross's career, that pattern becomes hard to ignore. Time and time again, he's built his brand off the legacies of real street icons whose stories already held weight.
Lead to.
I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still count paper. This ain't a pumping.
Back when the real Rick Ross was still behind bars, the rapper had already taken his name and built an empire off it. When the original Ross got out, He was furious, accusing the rapper of identity theft and filing a lawsuit in 2010. That case dragged on for years, until 2013, when a judge sided with the rapper, calling it creative expression. But the truth was plain. Ross's fame had been fueled by someone else's reputation. And that wasn't a one-time thing. Over and over, Ross has attached himself to real-life legends the moment they hit freedom, posing as their ally while cashing in on their stories. In 2021, he did the same with Larry Hoover, dropping his name in tracks and interviews, not to help the man's fight for justice, but to boost his own credibility. Fans called him out for exploiting real struggles just to move units. And now the same formula is playing out with Big Meech. Ross aligned himself with Meech right after his release, preaching loyalty and legacy while using the bond to polish his own image. But the truth is, it's always been about control and clout. With Ross, the narrative always bends back to his benefit, which explains why 50 Cent's been laughing through all this. He doesn't have to lift a finger. Ross's empire is collapsing on its own, and 50's just watching the show from the front row.
All of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No,
No? You think 50?
no,
Lil Meech.
no.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead.
As the chaos around Big Meech and Lil Meech spirals out of control, 50 Cent has been moving in silence, plotting major business plays, sealing new deals and setting up his next wave of projects. While his rivals fight to stay relevant, 50's been stacking wins behind closed doors. Meanwhile, the Meech duo seems to be hopping from one celebrity circle to another, doing whatever it takes to keep their names alive in a culture that's quickly losing patience, adding to the embarrassment. Rick Ross recently tried to clown 50, calling him broke and mocking him for not getting approval on a film studio loan. But that joke aged fast, because just days later that same loan got approved. Now 50's officially in boss mode again, proving exactly why he's one of the smartest and most calculated power players in entertainment. And the twist? Ross had just been bragging about buying 50's masters a few weeks earlier. Now that talk looks foolish. The tables have flipped completely. Fans online are roasting Ross, saying he's fuming in private while 50 keeps winning effortlessly. That failed flex has now become a reminder of how fast power shifts when real business moves are in play. At this point, it might already be too late for 50 to save Big Meech's reputation or pull Lil Meech back into his inner circle. The damage is done and the bridges burned beyond repair.
Feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
Commentators like Zip with the Drip, who warned everyone from the start that Ross would eventually snake Meech, are now saying, "See? I told you so." He predicted Ross would jump ship the second things stopped benefiting him, and that's exactly what went down. Now, the conversation across social media is brutal. Big Meech might have missed his final window to make a real comeback. What could have been a powerful return story has turned into a cautionary tale, one about blind loyalty, bad strategy, and trusting the wrong people. Many fans believe this public fallout marks the end of Meech's influence altogether. And the shockwaves are bigger than just Meech Ross. And 50 insiders say this moment could reshape how artists form alliances in the future, making them more skeptical of fake loyalty and hidden motives. This saga exposed the ugly truth behind the industry. Loyalty is often for sale, friendships are built for gain, and betrayal is just another chess move. For Big Meech, the reality is hitting hard. Once seen as a living legend, his name now carries more controversy than respect. Analysts say these betrayals might have damaged his credibility worse than any court case ever could. Without solid allies and with his image repeatedly taking hits, rebuilding that power might not just be hard, it might be impossible. Rick Ross might have walked away clean for now, but his own reputation is on thin ice. Fans are questioning how many people he's used and discarded along the way. and wondering when his own empire might start to crumble. Because one thing's clear, Ross's loyalty doesn't stretch past his own reflection, and in this business, that reputation sticks, and then there's 50 Cent, while the rest crumble, he's thriving. With new ventures rolling and public opinion shifting in his favor, he's watching everyone else fall apart while he continues to expand his empire. This chaos didn't hurt him, it made him stronger. 50's proven once again that real power doesn't come from noise. It comes from precision. In the end, this isn't just a feud, it's a lesson in power, betrayal, and karma. One small mistake flipped an entire legacy. The industry's watching closely because what just happened isn't drama, it's a warning. In hip-hop, loyalty without leverage is suicide, and the irony? It's poetic. As one viral comment said, "So let me get this straight. A former corrections officer snaking a street legend, and a hustler getting hustled by another hustler? That's karma, raw, loud, and on time." Big Meech's comeback dreams have officially backfired. Rick Ross is now getting dragged for using the same tricks he built his empire on. It's the hunter becoming the hunted, proof that, in this game, nobody stays untouchable forever. So what happens next? Will Big Meech plot revenge and flip the script, or is this the final chapter? Whatever comes next, one thing's certain, the fallout isn't over. Every move from here will decide who truly walks away on top.